Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 2, season 2 of Retry. Today we're looking back at one of my personal favorites, Kirby's Adventure, released on the original Nintendo in 1993 by HAL Laboratory.
So Kirby decides to take a cute little nap after eating God knows how many creatures. And then he realizes he's no longer dreaming. Kirby wakes up and travels to... Jesus, didn't Lovecraft write about this? Once Kirby gets to the Fountain of Dreams, he finds out that his nemesis, King Dedede, stole the Star Rod and broke it into 7 pieces to keep people from dreaming. Kirby sets out on a quest to defeat King Dedede and all the other bosses in this game to get all 7 parts of the Star Rod and reassemble them. It's not often that we see our heroes falter, and Kirby really screws this one up. How? Because King Dedede isn't even really the bad guy. There's a worse monster out there known as Nightmare, and King Dedede broke up the Star Rod to protect everyone from it. So even though Kirby royally messes everything up, it doesn't matter. King Dedede is still willing to work with him to destroy Nightmare. For me, it's always been gameplay that has set Kirby's Adventure apart from every other NES game ever made. Kirby's just a big pink puffball that can inhale things, including air. You can inhale air and actually use it to float across obstacles, which is extremely useful in a platforming game. When on the ground, Kirby can dash and even do a crouching slide attack. But the move that Kirby's known for is being able to inhale enemies. You can spit them right back out as a weapon, or you can swallow them and absorb their power. The abilities you can get from enemies in Kirby's Adventure is extremely varied. It can be as simple as having a weapon like a sword to use, or as game-changing as being able to rocket across the screen. Each ability changes how you can play this game in its own way. You can even swallow the bosses after you defeat them and take their primary ability, and most of the bosses actually give you some pretty game-breaking stuff. Everything about Kirby is just a little bit cute and a little bit disturbing. Take the microphone, for example. I love how it looks when he's singing, yet he kills everyone by the sound of his voice. Dreamland is made up of 7 worlds, each having its own set of levels and then boss fight at the end. Beating the boss is the goal of each world, but there are also extra doors as well. There are arenas where you can refight old bosses. There are museums that put enemies on display like an all-you-can-eat buffet that you can eat and steal their power just for a specific level. There are also many mini-games you can play to earn extra lives. There's a claw-style vending machine game. There's another game where King Dedede throws eggs at you and bombs trying to blow you up. And then there's my personal favorite, an old-style western gunfight. One of the things that's interesting about Kirby's Adventure is when they marketed this to North America, they were very careful not to establish this as a quote-unquote girl game. Sure, the main hero was pink, the worlds were full of cute little creatures and white fluffy clouds, but when they made the ad for this game, they made damn sure that you knew that they were marketing this towards boys. Check it out.
Who's Kirby? Behind the flabby facade, a physical powerhouse, a street fighter, a weapons expert. He's whatever the situation demands. In Kirby's Adventure, evil King Dedede's stolen Dreamland's dreams. Now Kirby's fighting to get them back, level by nightmarish level. That's Kirby. He's cute. Till you cross him, then he's one tough cream puff. Kirby's Adventure, new on any...
We are Nintendo Ultimate TV Game System. Aim your zapper gun. You cannot beat us. Even with your robot partner, you cannot beat us. Discover new worlds. You cannot beat us. We are Nintendo. We challenge borders. You cannot beat us.
I tell you, man, there is a fine line between creativity and creepiness, and that just crossed it. I've talked about the developer HAL before when I did Kabuki Quantum Fighter, and about how they got their name from 2001: The Space Odyssey, The Insane Computer. I have to mention a little bit more about the people that made this game, and it might give you an idea of how it came to exist. It might also give you an idea about how Kirby's managed to stick around for almost 20 years. Kirby's Adventure, directed by Masahiro Sakurai-san. He is directly responsible for the Kirby series, Super Smash Bros., and also the new Kid Icarus game coming out from the Nintendo 3DS. Kirby's Adventure, produced by Satoru Iwata-san. Name sound familiar? He's the current president and CEO of all of Nintendo. This game was also produced by Shigeru Miyamoto-san. That's right, the creator of Super Mario and The Legend of Zelda lended his talents to Kirby's Adventure. Ah, Kirby, so much variety in this game, yet so many ways to screw up. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my horrendous gameplay. It's time for the big fail. The minigames are fun, but when you screw up, at least you don't actually die. You just fail to get all the bonus, right? Wait a sec. Those aren't his eggs, are they? You know, in a platforming game where you can fly, it's awfully hard to die by falling. As a matter of fact, in Kirby's Adventure, it's almost impossible. Almost impossible. What's so great about this level? There isn't even that many places to fall. All I have to do is not be an idiot. Kirby's Adventure came out very late in the original Nintendo console system's life cycle. And that could always be good or bad. The good side of it is you benefit from all the knowledge on how to squeeze every last ounce of power out of that system. Because of this, the game benefited from excellent graphics, including pseudo 3D backgrounds that Kirby could interact with. The downside to it coming out so late in the life cycle was that it had stiffer competition. It was going up against Sega Genesis games and even Super Nintendo games, and it still was incredibly successful. On an interesting side note, Kirby's Adventure was the second largest NES game ever released. The number one game? Well, that would also be a HAL release, Metal Slayer Glory. So if you're ready to be nostalgic and give this great game a shot, I got good news. Kirby's Adventure was released on the Wii Virtual Console in 2007. In 2002, this game was remade as Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland for the Game Boy Advance. Since Kirby's Adventure came out late in the original Nintendo's life cycle, it's still actually pretty easy to find an original cartridge as well.
And now it's time for the answers nobody should have asked for. It's Two Horrible Questions with Tony B. First question. Wonder what it's going to be about. I imagine it's going to be about Kirby. Let's take a look. First question is from Steve in Acme, Indiana, who asks, what happens to all the monsters and animals that Kirby eats? Well, that's a good question. They're dead, Steve. They're dead. He took their souls. Where is your god now? Ah, that was dark. All right. Time for question 2. And as always, this can't be any worse, right? All right. Question 2 is from Elizabeth in Elephant Butte, New Mexico, who asked, Kirby clearly has great power, but thank goodness he's a hero. But is it true that absolute power corrupts absolutely? Elizabeth, that's actually a stupid question. Of course it does. I've got this footage of Kirby, who's spending some time off from being a hero. Check it out. fact that Kirby's Adventure has had such a lasting appeal and legacy with gamers from around the world really shouldn't surprise anybody. It was created by a group of all-stars of console game development in Nintendo, and at some point, they had to walk into a room and sell Nintendo on the idea. They're like, okay, we've got a hero. He's a big pink marshmallow. Oh yeah, and he eats people. It gets better. He swallows them whole, takes their abilities like stealing their soul. Yeah, but it'll be a great game for children. It'll be perfect because there'll be white fluffy clouds and flowers and there'll be lots of pink and color. And somebody at Nintendo had to listen to all that and go, yes.
Thanks for watching. For VideoGameSaga.com, this is Tony B, and I'm out. Retry? You know it.